What fun would animating graphics be without a little music to dance to? In this video, we're going to lay the groundwork for some well-timed graphics. Let's get started right inside of After Effects. So in this project, you can see we have quite a few graphics, and I want to go ahead and load this back into my RAM and play it back so we can kind of see what's going on. I'll move my current time indicator back to the beginning of the project and press the space bar. You want to pay special attention to the info panel to see if it's actually playing back in real time. So as I'm looking at this, it's quite clear that I just have the pie graph animated. All of the rest of the elements still have yet to animate. But I want the rest of the elements to appear to the beat of the music. And notice we're not hearing any music. So let's go ahead and press the space bar to stop playback. And I'm going to go to the project panel. In here, I want to open the folder for audio. And this is where I have my WAV file. So let's add it to our timeline. I'm going to click on it and drag it to the top of the timeline. I like adding my audio up here, so when I add my markers, I can clearly see what's going on. Now, there are two ways you can preview audio. If you know the video is playing back in real time, by all means, you can press the space bar and hope that it plays back in real time, and you can continue adding markers in real time as well. But what I like to do is create an audio-only preview. And the best way to do that is to have a full-size keyboard and use the period key on the right-hand side on that numeric keypad. When you do that, that'll load up an audio-only preview. Now I happen to be on one of those shortened Mac keyboards, so I can also use the Control period key to load up an audio-only preview. Now, as it's playing back, in order to add markers to any layer that's currently selected, I can press the asterisk key, again on the full-size keyboard. Now, on this shortened keyboard on my Mac here, I can press Control and 8, and that will add it to whatever layer is selected. So the biggest thing I recommend when you're adding markers is to do an audio-only preview. That way you don't have to worry about whether or not frames have been loaded into RAM or whatever. So I'm going to move back to the beginning of my timeline. I'll select my audio layer, and I'll go ahead and press the period key on my numeric keypad to load up an audio-only preview. And as it plays, I'm going to let it play through once. I'll start adding markers the second time it loops around by pressing the asterisk key. So I'll press the spacebar to stop playback, and as you can see, when I was adding my markers, I was getting a little hiccup in the playback, but to better see what's going on, I'm going to go ahead and open up my waveform. So if you select layer 1 and open it up, we can open up the audio and open up the waveform, and here I can more clearly see where the beats of the music are happening. Now I can see that some of my markers are out of place, but that's okay, we can adjust the markers. Let's move our current time indicator up towards the front here, because every time I hear that tick, I want to have a new word actually pop onto the screen. So I'm just going to have all the rest of these graphics pop on with simple cuts. So in order to actually scrub over the audio, I'm going to hold down the Command key on the Mac, or you could hold Control on Windows. Then when you grab your current time indicator, you can scrub and you'll hear audio. Let me show you what I mean. So I can hear quite clearly each time a new note is played, it's happening right at the top of this waveform. If I want to zoom in on my timeline, I can just use the plus key on the top of my keyboard. So I'll do that a couple times. You can press the minus key to zoom out. There we go. You don't want to get too close. And now I'll move my current time indicator, and let's say right here at the high part of my waveform, this is where I want my first word to appear, like the word people. So I'll add a marker here on layer 1. I'll just go ahead and press the asterisk key, or you can go up under Layer, Add Marker. It's Control 8. Okay, so there's my marker. There's my first one. I'll move down here. And notice between frames, it's kind of one or the other. So we'll just pick one and then we'll see. Again, Control 8. And I'll move down here and I'll choose Control 8. Now I'm going to zoom out, pressing the minus key on my keyboard. And let's move to that first marker. If you hold down the Shift key as you click and drag with your current time indicator, it will actually snap to each one of these markers. So let's position over this first marker here, and I'll go ahead and close my audio options and select the word people. Now to slide the word people down the timeline, I'm just going to press the left bracket key, which is just to the right of the P key. Now I'll hold down Shift, click and drag, and snap to the next marker. And here I'll go to the word prefer, select that layer, left bracket. And we'll just repeat that command here for the last one. I'll use cupcakes as one word, so I'll select both layers and then press the left bracket key. So here we go. So it'll say people prefer cupcakes. And then let's see how many pieces of music I have. I'm going to hold down the command key and scrub. So right here, that's where I want to add this other marker. So rather than trying to add a new marker, I'll just click on this marker and drag it down the timeline. And you guessed it, I'll hold down Shift and it'll snap right to the playhead. So now here, I'll look for my cupcake graphic, which is layer 7, and I can press the left bracket here. So now if I hold down Command on the Mac or Control on Windows and scrub, I know these are going to pop in perfectly well. So now we just have to animate the rest of this. As you can see, it starts spinning in, and I don't really want it to start spinning in until I hear the clicking of the drum track with the snare. So let's preview audio only again. Period on a full-size keyboard, or Control period here on my shortened Mac keyboard. Okay, so somewhere around here, again, Command on the Mac or Control on Windows, and click and drag. So right here is where I want my next marker, and Control 8. And notice when I did Control 8, since I had the cupcake layer selected, it added the marker there, which I don't want. So I'll just Command Z or Control Z to undo. Select my audio layer and Control 8. There we go. Now if I wanted to label these, I could just double click on the marker and then type something. So I'll say spin, as in this is where I want things to start spinning in. So for this first layer to start spinning in, let me see which of the layers is the first one out of my pie chart here. And it looks like it's my large layer, but I do have kind of a sequence. So I'll click on layer 12 and hold down Shift and click on 14. And I'll just drag them all down here to the timeline. And now if I hold down Command or Control on Windows and scrub, I can see whether it's going to work. And I'm not sure, so I'm going to go ahead and load the entire thing back up into RAM. I'll move back to the beginning and I'll press the space bar. Just understand, you might need to wait for it to cycle through to see whether it's playing back in real time. And just to make things a little more quick, I'm going to move my current time indicator to about 5:07 and press N on my keyboard to change the end of my work area. Okay, so let's press the space bar and watch. That actually looks pretty good. I just want all the numbers to pop in at the same time as well. So let me see if I can scrub and quickly find one of these other markers. I'll scroll through here and just see. I want it to be after all of these other pieces of the pie come in. So maybe this marker. I'll hold down Command or Control on Windows and drag to scrub. So right here, this is where I want all the numbers to come in. So I can scroll down, select layer 10, shift click on layer 8, and I'll just press the left bracket key to slide all of those down. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning and press the space bar and watch it back. So it looks like those numbers don't come in quite right. So obviously you can continue dragging around till you get the timing of your own preference. But I think you understand how this works. Load up audio-only previews when you set your initial markers. Then you can adjust your markers by sliding around in the timeline. If your markers are visible, you can hold down Shift as you're moving your current time indicator, and it'll snap to the markers. Then it's just a matter of repositioning layers to start whenever they're in sync with the audio that's in your project.